Hi, Kenechukwu. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine, Sid. How was your day?
That was okay. And yours? So, in general, how's life been for you, like before and after COVID?
Life have been just the way we see it. I would say that it's very dicey because when we entered this year, I just finished from school. I just graduated from school then. So I was very active looking for things to do, trying to get involved with activities. But then when I reached the peak, when I started getting what I was looking for, a list came out. I was supposed to go and serve the country in the northern part of Nigeria. So I just left in March. And after spending a week in camp, the whole pandemic started. So that was just how things, and since then, things have not really been so easy, although it wasn't too tough. Because all the contacts I got, I'm normally focused on teaching since I graduated. So the contacts I got for teaching, we couldn't work together because who are you going to teach when everyone is on lockdown? So that
Yeah.
was just how things are. But prior to the pandemic, when pandemic got very serious, everything just shut down. So I just had to stay back at home and started looking for other opportunities.
Okay. And like in terms of student life, like before and after COVID, like how was it?
The student life,
Like in terms of your
hmm?
student life, like in terms of before and after COVID, like how was the student life? Is it pretty much the same situation, or did it become like kind of yeah similar?
No, it's no longer the same. It's not the same because actually I finished from school in the ending part of last year. So what I do is I work with students, mostly those that are about to enter university. I run tutorials for them. As of then, before the pandemic, I had a lot of students that registered under me. But once the pandemic became very serious, there was zero number of students in my list. I didn't have anyone to teach. So most of the things, we started even planning to hold the online lessons for them. But then something like that is not just as easy as it is planned to be.
Okay. Out of curiosity, like how did you get into Uptrend? I mean, like how like were you introduced? Like you found it on your own?
In introduction, yes, I was introduced, but it was more like a miracle because prior to joining Uptrend, I was at home. I was receiving stipend as a core member that was serving the country. So at the end of the month, I'm sure of getting allowance. But then I needed more. I needed to be very active. So I started from reading online. I tried many earning opportunities online. But then I was lucky when I was talking with a friend of mine. He was actually a colleague in school. He told me about Uptrend. But the funny thing about the whole introduction is that he was telling me about Uptrend when he's already leaving the platform because that was in the first week of July. So he was telling me about the citizenship and co, saying that it's no longer easy to earn the way it was before. But someone like me that joined immediately after the citizenship, everything was normal. So I never experienced the period of earning as high as they used to be. So that was just how I started from the scratch till where I am today. Although the guy still came back. He came back when there was a boom. Yes, the boom of, I think that was 2 months later in August. He came back to the platform. He worked for like a month and then zoomed off again. So that was just how I got in contact with the platform.
Okay. If you've been following like the whole US election thing in terms of Biden winning, what were your thoughts on that?
Normally, despite the fact that he won, all of us saw the margin that he used to win. But Trump didn't just let it go like that. Okay? He didn't just let it go. US is a big country and everyone knows it. So it's not going to sound normal for them to just end it like that without drama. So we saw the dramas that they acted, and after everything, we now saw the final conclusion. And Biden himself, personally, I wouldn't like to judge him because The margin he used to win is open for everyone to see. But we just have to wait and see how he will perform on seats. But that is where we start checking if he's better than the previous administration, or if he's going to repeat the same thing that Trump did. But so far, based on the mandate that he's been projecting, I think that he will do a very nice job. I think that he will do a very nice job because he's not just trying to separate the two parties together. He's trying to stand in the middle and then unite the both parties by presenting something that will be favorable to the two angles. So far, everything will surely go
Okay, on a final note, what are your plans for the future?
well. The plans are quite, it's very big plans, but I will start from, when you have a very broad plan like this, you have to segment it. And the segment that I'm targeting next year is about pushing up the aspect of my academics. I've acquired BSc, but I'm looking at getting a MSc, that is my master's program. Then once I secure it, I'm also looking at running professional courses because I studied banking and finance. I'm trying to major in the area of advisory role. That is the aspect of international finance and merchant banking. So that is the major area that I'm targeting for next month because it has a very huge attachment to the broad dream that I have to achieve. And that aspect of the broad dream has to do with the name. We talked about the name when you asked of the right way to pronounce it. And that is one of the things I'm targeting. I want to make it a name that will ring a bell to anyone wherever you are, in any part of the world. So that once you hear the name, it won't just be like another strange name out there. And all these things has to do with working hard and making the name an asset, attaching a meaning to it. So I'll first of all start from the banking sector and every other thing will follow suit.
Wow, that's really great. I appreciate you for your time, and yeah, and we shall catch up soon.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Thanks.